This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is STARCAST, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hello and welcome back to your official Billingham Town Council sponsored Billingham Stars podcast. This is STARCAST. Plenty to talk about, and do I mean plenty to talk about. 2 games for the Billingham Stars, all the results and tables from around the league, and look ahead to next week's road trip to Blackburn. Pleased to be joined, as always, from the Stars media team, Carol, who's added an adjective to her name for this week, leading the pack of the Grumpy Northerners podcast. Hi to Carol and Supporters Club Chairman, Kitman Extraordinaire, Stick to the Pod, an IHL Insider, all of the above. Jono with us as well. Hi, Jono.
Good evening.
Great to have you on, as always. And as I say, plenty to talk about. 2 games, which we'll get stuck into, and then plenty of any other business as well later on. So we'll start with the first game of the weekend for your Stars, which was a road trip to the most versatile arena, home of the Hull Jets, and ended up with a 4-3 overtime defeat to the Hull Jets. But that doesn't quite tell the whole story. The Hull Jets goals came from Alex Kent. Say that quite carefully. 2 goals for him, Ian Kerman and Aidan Dancer. And for the Stars, 1 for Chris Sykes and 2 for Captain Michael Alder, who, to say, is in a rich vein of form is a bit understatement of the moment. Stars came back from a couple of goals down to tie it up, and then Hull took it in OT. Who would like to start with this one? Carol, your review also included the revelation that not only did the result not go the way, but the chip spice was off as well.
No. I've actually spent a lot of the build up to this podcast wondering how I talk about Saturday's game, because it's tricky to talk about it honestly without potentially getting the club into trouble. So I'm going to try and stick to as many facts as I can and try and leave some emotion out of it. But to say it didn't go, to say the puck didn't bounce for us, let's put it that way, is putting it mildly. We to be fair, and I am going to try and be fair here. We kind of were the architects of our own downfall in that the dominance that we showed, especially in the second period, we really should have had that game won, with or without the help or otherwise of the officials. But honestly, it is hard to talk about the game without talking about the 3 massive incidents that none of which went the way of the Stars. And that's, I think I said to somebody else on socials, it's hard not to feel aggrieved at the way that Saturday's game went. If you take those 3 incidents in isolation, you've got Darren Stattersfield scoring. Granted, the angle wasn't great for the official to see. However, he seemed to be the only one on the ice that didn't see it go in, because the video footage shows quite clearly the Hull players all stopped playing. The Stars players are all celebrating. Everybody saw that go in, except the referee. So that one gets ruled out. Okay, you can kind of live with that one in isolation. The second one was the Ian Brown incident, where the puck went off his skate, and there's no kick in motion. It literally deflects in off his skate, but that's disallowed as well. Okay. And then you get to the overtime, and it's early in overtime, and after all that hard work to get ourselves back into it when everything seemed to be going against us again, we pull it back in the last 5 minutes to send the game to overtime, and then literally in the first minute of overtime they score, and the less said about that particular decision as well, the better. So I think I'm going to leave it there, because if I talk much more, I probably am going to get myself into trouble, because there's loads more I could say about that game that were not very savoury. Let's put it this way. It was a very niggly, quite an ugly game to watch. But I'm probably going to leave it there on the basis that I might say something wrong. So I'm just gonna quietly park it.
Yeah. Jono, as Carol said, there's plenty to look at. Just looking at the goals as they were, Hull jumped out at a 2-0 in the first period, 2-0 lead. We come back, start at the beginning of the second, as Carol said. We had a purple patch in the second period, but only had the one goal to show for it. Hull extended it to 3-1, and then when all looked down, as I say, with the disallowed goals, 2 late power play goals, 55, 58 minutes, one for Mikey, one for Chris. Take it to 3-3. Momentum's in our favour, and then you get the deflation of the OT winner. How's things from the rink side with you?
Yeah, all the way through the game, I was never worried. I always thought we were the better team. The bench felt like they were always the better team. It was just about taking those chances for whatever reason. And I think Carol mentioned earlier, puck luck seems to have deserted us this year. And never mind just puck luck, I think the hockey gods hate us as well. We've certainly done something to upset someone somewhere, because the goals aren't flowing with the chances that we're creating. We dominated play for 59 minutes, I would say. On Saturday, we were a far superior team. I think the shot count would probably show that. We dominated the game. We dominated the offensive zone, and we just couldn't find a way to put the puck in the net. I mean, you mentioned the 3 major incidents there, but taking those away from the game and put them in the back of your mind that they never happened. 3-1 with 5 minutes left in the game, taking it to overtime, you'd probably be happy with that, saying, yeah, it's a good point now. We've done well. We've got back into the game. Hull's a hard place to go. Solihull have been there and lost as well in overtime, so we know it's very difficult. But those incidents, I just don't think they should be happening at our level, especially the Darren goal. I mean, that tells you everything about the positioning of the referee if he has his back to goal in that situation. And looking at the footage back, he has his back to goal. So how is he meant to make any sort of judgment? The Darren one, I mean, again, I can accept it if he came over at the end of the game and said, sorry, guys, I just made an absolute boo-boo of the biggest kind. I'm really sorry. I thought back. It did happen, but it happened, and I got it wrong. But he gave an excuse that doesn't even word align with the rule book, and that's what annoys people. Because I can tell you straight away now, the moment that Mr. Fraley gave the reasoning why, people were on the phone straight away looking at the rule book that's available to you on website, going, well, it doesn't say that what he's just said. So he made himself look a bit silly. The offside, well, I think that was just the rest of the salt that they had left available to put in the wounds of the 2 non-goals that they gave. And it was just our luck that it went against us. In real time, live, on the bench, at ice level, it was a mile offside. You could see it. For me, it wasn't difficult. I know there's pictures going around online, and let's be honest, the camera angle's crap, the lighting's crap, and it's behind the play as well. So you can't tell. Angles and all that geometry crap, you just cannot tell. So those pictures were pointless. I was there, it was live. The whole bench screamed the moment it happened, not 3 seconds later or 4 seconds later when the puck goes netting. The moment they crossed the line, the bench was screaming at offside. It was that obvious. It was waved off and they went and scored. you come away sitting on the bus thinking about it, and all I try to do is just thinking, you know what, we got a point out of a bad situation, being 3-1 down with 5 minutes to go, but it just the incidents, the three incidents. I'm not talking about any of the other physical stuff because that was a joke as well. It just leaves a bit of taste in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean the offside, like you say, the still photos aren't ideal because you can't really see where the puck is, where the skate is, where the kind of action is, and the still photo is no good anyway because you need to see the progression of the puck across the blue line. So not ideal. The stills do make it look closer than it probably was with a naked eye. And obviously the usual suspects from near and far were on Saturday night, Sunday morning. So like you say, the disallowed goals. I've had a look at it. As Carol said, the stats one, Hull stopped playing because they knew what had happened, and then they were kind of it's playing on, away they went. And like you say, I don't know, it's the position you've got to. If the ref's in the right place where they're supposed to be to give goals, then he'll dare to see it. Same as with the Ian one, if he was in the right place, he'll have seen it was a deflection. As we saw, kind of 24 hours later. But it was a tough one, as I say. On the positive, the late fight back, getting the point, but then obviously not having the chance to capitalise in OT with basically the first attack kind of ending the game. I know we had heard from Fozzie on the interview on Saturday night, which we put out on Sunday, kind of reflective as he always is, kind of trying to take that into Sunday, and it's at a point it will come to Sunday in a second, but I mean we're back in Hull in a couple of weeks' time, and there's no greater carrot stick, whatever incentive to put things right in a couple of weeks' time when we'll go back to the most versatile arena, Carol.
Yeah, I think my only worry or concern on that score is it was an ugly game. There was an awful lot of bad feeling. It's all stemming from one incident, which I'm not going to talk about because I will get myself into trouble. One incident that just basically soured the rest of the game. It was very niggly, lots of unnecessary stuff happening off puck, stuff happening from the bench, which again, I'm not going to mention, but they know who they are. And it was, the fact that we're going back there so soon, I'm not sure on this occasion is a good thing. I'd kind of wanted those to maybe have had chance to simmer down a bit, but as it is, you just don't know. Maybe the whole thing about it being fresh in the memory will be a good fillip and all the rest of it. But it wasn't. It was a very unpleasant game to watch at times.
Yeah, I think I'm with Carol on certain things as well. Like, I think one or two things you probably wish it would have took a bit longer. Did we play them? Because I think one or two incidents that happened are going to be at the forefront of people's minds, and that could be a big distraction for us. I know an incident from the home game carried over. That carried over, and it was happening in the warm-ups. So an incident there happened, and that was a month ago. This is a couple of weeks, and obviously, I think everyone, especially the ones who were there, aren't daft when they don't know what we're talking about. The incident happened to a certain particular player that no one will be happy with, and I think that will, again, I think it will be right at the forefront of people's minds and could distract from winning the game.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I say time, a couple of weeks between games. We'll see. We've got a game to play next weekend. Before that, so could be plenty of things to worry about. But a 4-3 final for the Hull Jets. As John said, the shots on goal definitely in Billingham's favour. Zach Brown 37 shots for the 3 goals against, and Mark Turnbull in net 25 shots for the 4 goals against. And as it showed, the pressure in the second 2 periods in particular, 16 shots in the second. Billingham had, and 14 shots to 4. The dominance in the third as they made the fight back. So seeds there to take away. obviously we'll talk about Sunday in a second, but that was Saturday night at the Chip Spice Arena. Anything else on Hull before we move on to Solihull?
Yes, please improve your chips because it's making your chip spice taste awful. Thank you.
Chip Spice review. We know how we like our chip review. So it was the chips rather than the chip spice, you think?
Yeah, the chips were grim.
Right. Hull Arena Catering. Attention, Hull Arena Catering. We shall. I might need to make a visit then if there's catering issues. I might need to come and make an inspection. That is disappointing here because one of the things about Hull Arena is the chip spice on the chips. It's the only place in the world, seemingly, where chip spice exists. So we shall leave that there. We'll update on chip spice in future episodes. So that was Saturday, and then Sunday we returned to the Forum Ice Arena in Billingham, and another quick return. The Solihull Barons back in town after a Saturday win 2-3 weeks ago, a fairly comfortable win for them a few weeks ago. But they're back in town. They're top of the league. They're flying high. We could probably do a multi-part episode on the first period itself. There was that much to talk about, but as it was, we'll give you the bare facts. It was Billingham 4, Solihull 7 at the end of the game. Billingham's goals were James Moss, Chris Sykes, Roland Grittans, and Ian Brown. And for Solihull, Alex White, Jake Riley, Edgar Landsbergs, Jacob Race, Corey Goodison, 2 for Nicholas Otterson, 1 for Lewis Allen. Shots aplenty. I can't remember the game. Last game we had, there were over 100 shots on goal. There were 57 shots on the Billingham net, one of them empty net. 56 shots on Jacob, and 47 on Laverick, friend of the show. Well, he's not coming back on again after that performance. Too many saves. But yeah, over 100 shots on goal. Offense at both ends. Do you want to take the first period as a separate thing, because that was a whole masterpiece in itself, the first period. John, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I actually thought from the first puck drop, the Stars started very well. And then I looked up at the scoreboard and we were 3-0 down, and I was shaking my head going, how has this happened? But no, for the one of our attacking play, the one thing we do is overcommit, and we always have done, always will do. It just seems to be the Billingham way. But the one thing Solihull Barons are very, very good at is the counter-attacking, breaking, and that's what they do. And they hit us twice, I think, in that period. One was a power play goal as well, if I remember rightly. Yeah, one was a power play goal, yeah.
Yeah, third one was a power play.
Yeah, third one was a power play goal, yeah. So, yeah, I think the first goal, again, was a breakaway. I think it was the Aussie import. He took his own rebound and batted one out of the air after taking a shot and a good save from Jacob. Again, we go back down to the end. We dominate the offensive zone. We lose possession of the puck. They break again, score, and it started to give a few nightmares of a few weeks ago. But the lads seem to have rallied. Mm-hmm. You know, they kind of stepped up the physical side of things, finished the hits, got under the skin of Solihull a little bit, got into a little bit of penalty trouble. Then we went to work on the power play and doing what we'd done, and we got back into the game, and rightly so. Walking out of the period at 3-3, you could argue was a fair result. I think they were a bit shell-shocked at that, hence our domination in the second period. But it was great just to see the lads dig down and battle and get back into the game in that first period. Yeah.
And obviously the big turning point, or the incident in period one, Carol, the major penalty on Tyler Nixon. It was 2-0 at the time. Stars attacking. Graham Laverick covers up. Gets a little tap off our enforcer, Lucas Dowdle. And then Lucas receives a little prod in the ribs, courtesy of Mr. Nixon, who then receives a tap on the back from Mr. Galloway. But yeah, so the spearing penalty's called, so it's a major, but we've got 2 minors. There was already a minor on the clock, I think, for them, so it was 3-on-3. Then it went to 4-on-3. Solihull, they scored to make it 3-0. And then, as Jono says, once we got on level on even, it was 4-on-4. I think the first goal, and quite kind of satisfying after Saturday night. Mossy's kind of backing in towards the net, and obviously Ian fires it on net, in off the skate, and obviously Wedgie's there to give the goal, despite all of the Solihull players shaking their leg as to say, "Oh, he kicked it," but he didn't. And then that, as I said, the power play, the 2 goals in a minute, the power play worked, and as we said about as much as the Saturday game was flat, by that end of that first period, the place was jumping, the rink was jumping, the fans were jumping, and it was a barnstorming end of period 1.
Yeah, I mean the turning point was that nasty little spear. Well-known goon Lucas Dowdle going in on the netminder does not deserve a spear in the abdomen for his trouble. And then you look at that and you think, yeah, Lucas has rightly got a penalty for that, because you shouldn't be going in on the keeper like that. But does he deserve a spear in the dummy for his trouble? Probably not. And then Shug, well-known goon Shug, comes in and with the cross check and deservedly in the box for that as well. So yeah, we're two guys down. They started off with 2 guys down, but as the penalties worked their way through and we got ourselves onto the power play already with a goal in the bag, I don't know, the feeling about the place changed. The forward momentum just seemed to be all with us, and to score those 2 goals, I think there was only 23 seconds between them as well. The crowd really responded, and you could just feel. I mean, the crowd were good all the way through the game, I thought, but that those 2 goals really picked it up, and you could see the Solihull bench were kind of all looking at each other, going, "What? What's just happened?" They really did look a little bit shell-shocked. And I'm glad you pointed out Mossy's goal, by the way, because that's how that rule's supposed to be applied, in case anybody who was reffing on Saturday is watching.
Yeah. He was backing in. I was looking at as I was downloading the footage the other night. He was backing in towards the top of the crease, and I said Ian just fired it on net, hits the back of his skate, goes in, doesn't know much about it. And I say it's an innocent deflection. They all count. Just looking at the game sheet, so Solihull make it 3-0 at 14 minutes and 8 seconds, and then a grand total of 1 minute and 29 seconds later, it's 3s each. So that's how mad it can change. And the momentum, all with Billog, I say that the crowd's jumping, the players are up for it. Solihull appear to be losing it a little bit. So they get the end of the period, which possibly comes at a good time for them rather than us, because we're tails are up. But it kind of continues in the middle period, John. We kill a 5-on-3, but then we get the go ahead. Great finish from Sykesy on the breakaway. The Deacon gets it through Laverick, and 4-3, and it's happy days end of period 2.
Yeah, I was a bit worried when the end of the first period came. Like I say, we had a lot of momentum, and it just shows you how good this team still is. When they score a goal, we are very hard to stop, because we do take that momentum forward. And for years, we talk about our goals in bunches. It happens all the time. It happened Saturday. It happened Sunday night. It's happened in every other game that we played this year. For what it is, when this team gets a goal and gets its tail wagging, they go. And we are a very good side. It's just, like I say, we've upset some hockey gods somewhere. But yeah, the end of the period kind of did worry me. But we came out in the second and dominated the second from start to finish, in my opinion. We were a much better team in the second period. But again, for whatever reason, sticks were getting gripped a little bit tighter, overplaying the puck, overpassing the puck, whatever it may be. We just couldn't extend that lead past 4-3. I think there was an opportunity to make it 5-3, and we didn't do that. I'm trying to think of who had the chance.
It might have been
Campion. It might have been Campion.
A lob pass out of defence over the top. Mikey gloved it down. And Mikey hit the post at the start of period 3 as well.
Yeah, like say that as well. But like I said, there was 1 or 2 big chances that you think if everything's going fine.
Mentioned Campion, yes. I remember, yes, because Campion was right on the doorstep.
Yeah.
And it was one of those, head to the sky moments when he saw Laverick had saved it because he was right there to tap it in, and Laverick got across to make the save. So yes, I remember that now as well. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just those little moments that aren't going our way right now, and it's not getting the lads down. You can see that the work rate and the effort's there, or it wouldn't be. But they know that they've got to work just that little bit harder at the moment because things aren't coming as easy as it was. Like I say, those chances, if you win the night before, if you win 4 or 5 games in a row, Campion probably scores that goal. If he's probably got a couple of goals already, he probably scores that goal. It takes that chance. It's just those little things, those little fine margins that cost you in this spot, even at our level. They're just going against us right now. But we played a great second period. And then I think we played a good 5, 6, 7 minutes of the third period. For whatever reason, head went down after we didn't get a go at a 5th goal. For whatever reason, the energy just zapped from the lads. It could have quite well have been the game the night before that done it. I know the Barons had an easy home game against the Lions. They wouldn't have been pushed that hard. They could have just rested players to make sure that they were ready for us on the Sunday. So the whole game obviously did take a bit out of us, and maybe that's just the reason why we faded off towards the end of the third. But yeah, a great second period, dominated, got the 4th goal, deserved the 5th. It just didn't come, and then, like you say, we had a couple of chances early in the third, and we didn't take them, and we get punished for it.
Yeah. And in that third period, Carol, as Jono says, and we're talking to Fozzie at the end of the game as well, when Barron started coming back into it, the energy in the legs for the guys possibly wasn't there. Little mistakes maybe started creeping in it on the back end, and Solihull were able to capitalise, and the game got away from us sadly in that third period. Not for the lack of effort, not for the lack of trying. It was just as Jono says, and we're talking to Foz, possibly not much left in the tank at the end of a busy weekend.
Yeah, there's that, but I think the key phrase that I picked out from Foz's post game was making plays that weren't there, and that was quite concerning in the third period. The times where players were making plays that you look at and you're going, no, and I don't know if that is down to fatigue, possibly. Maybe the concentration's not quite there when you're tired. But we did gift Solihull a few of those goals in the third period, and I'm sure that'll be something that they look at in training over the next few weeks. But it was frustrating to watch because obviously we'll just ignore the fact that Craig's gone.
Yeah.
If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, Craig's just disappeared. He's having Wi-Fi trouble.
He'll probably edit this bit out.
Yeah, he probably will, but I'll just keep talking anyway, just in case. Yeah. It was frustrating to watch because they played so well in that second period and deservedly in front. And then you watch the third period and it's like, what happened? What happened? We're suddenly making plays that just aren't there. And maybe it was just fatigue. Maybe it was the fact that we were ahead and looking good for the points. Who knows? John,
I think a lot happened from when we went 5-4 down. I think we started to panic then. I think the lads started to push themselves a little more defensively. They started to leave 1 or 2 more gaps open where they would just have a forward drift into that space. So whether if left-sided defence push forward or right-sided defence push forward, one or 2 of their forwards would drop into that space. And to be fair, they cramped it right down to 2 lines as well at one period of the game just to try and get back into it, and it paid off for them. Alex White didn't seem to like he was off the ice for the last 10 minutes of the third period. Obviously, he's a great skater and he's a good finisher as well when given the opportunity. And I think once they got that little sniff to get ahead at 5-4, I think a lot of demons arose in ourselves, and we just fell away. I'm not going to totally blame it on being from the night before, the tired legs, but obviously it was an absolute energy-sapping game against the Hull Jets, obviously trying to get back into the game in the last 5 minutes, and then obviously the bit of overtime. Yes, granted, it wasn't a long period, but all the emotion that was put into that game as well will take effect. And I think it didn't dearly cost us, but once we had to chase the game against the Barons, the energy just wasn't there for us.
I think a lot of it is to do with, if you look at Solihull's rink, it's not massively different forum. It's all right, we've just kept talking, don't worry about us. It's not massively different to the forum. I think it's only a couple of meters wider. So I've always wondered why Solihull don't do better when they come to the forum in previous years, because they're not massively different from their own rink. But I think they showed over the last 2 games at the forum that actually, with the right team and the right offence and the right numbers travelling, they do know how to play on our rink. And I think the interplay and the fact that they knew how to play the narrow ends, I think it was more telling over the last couple of games than it has been in recent seasons.
Yeah, I think it was obvious to see that now we've seen them twice at the forum, and obviously a few of us have seen them at their place. They do play completely different away from home than they do away. Obviously, they have a nice wide rink at home, so they can really stretch it there. Whereas at our place, it is quite short and quite narrow compared to some, especially Solihull. So they do change the game, and they do defend very well. They defend as a 5, and they pressure the puck very, very well to create that turnover, knowing that they've got 4 or 5 great skaters. I mean, you've got both Mulcahy's, Otterson's a great skater, the Aussie lad's a great skater, Alex White's a great skater. So once they know they can turn over the puck and get it into the neutral zone, they're away with speed, and will hurt you when they counter-attack, and which is what they did. They did for fun when they beat us 7-1 or whatever it was. And I think probably looking back, 4, maybe 5 of the goals were on the counter-attack against us on Sunday as well.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that Solihull, we've talked about it off air, is obviously the additions they've made in the summer. We talked about it briefly a couple of times, but we've seen it now in person, and Otterson's finally got that supporting cast around him. He's still doing a lot of the scoring, but he doesn't have to rely on him doing everything. And Solihull are much the better for it, and a lot more dangerous, and currently sitting pretty at the top of the division.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to play 55 minutes a night anymore. He can play 30 minutes now, and that means he's got a lot more energy. He's got a lot more left in the legs when it comes to the last 10, 15 minutes of a game. I think we saw last year, he was done in the second period. He was absolutely finished. He had nothing left. He couldn't give any more. And yet they were just kept throwing him out and throwing him out and throwing him out there, trying to get him to change the game for them. And he just couldn't do it on his own. This year, like you say, I think I tried to work out the lines earlier on today, and he wasn't with the Mulcahy, I don't believe. He was with White and Race. So they've just added so much. I think they've probably got 3 lines of scoring, which they never had. Whereas last year it was 1 line. Now they've got 3 lines of scoring, and that'll be a big, huge key in them trying to fend off Blackburn for the title.
Yeah. But obviously everybody's just gone to Solihull for the love of it, and that's why.
It'll be the chippy.
Possibly, yes. You've got to put your positives where you can. But yeah, so a tough third period, particularly as Fuzzy said, and a few of the fans have said, as a neutral, as a spectator, possibly was a great game to watch. It was end to end, plenty of goals, plenty of attacking. Just a bit of a tough one to take at the end of a tough weekend. So we'll take a break, and what we'll do is we'll look at the results and tables, and then head to the next game for the Billingham Stars, which is Check's Notes away to Blackburn. Of course it is. Thanks, Fixtures Gods. But we'll be back in a moment. This is your official podcast of the Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. It is STARCAST.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to STARCAST, and ask a little bit of tonight's show, and we'll go through the results and tables from the weekend. Thanks to our friends at NIHL Stats. First of all, on Saturday, a fairly busy program on Saturday. Blackburn Hawks 9, Telford Tigers 2. That was League and Cup. Hull Jets 4, Billingham 3, overtime, as we've talked about. Sheffield 4, D-side 13. So the Dragons finally break their away day blues. Big win on Sheffield. And a Saturday home game for the Barons, as we talked about as well. And they win 5-2 over the Nottingham Lions. Sunday's action, again, we talked about Billingham 4, Solihull 7. Leeds Knights was 3, Hull Jets 6. So a double win weekend for the Jets. Nottingham 5, Blackburn 9, again in the Cup. And then the final game of the weekend, Telford 6, Sheffield 3, was the league-only encounter. So what that means for the league table, the Solihull Barons, 14 games, 40 points, perfect 7-0 at home, 6-1 away from home. They are on 40 points, top of the league. Blackburn, 4 points behind after also 14 games. D-side have played 15, and they're on 29. And then it's Hull Jets, 25 from 14. Telford, 5th place, 24 from 13. Your Billingham Stars, 6th place, 22 points from 13 games. 7 wins, an overtime loss, and 5 regulation losses. Widnes, 16 points from 14 games. Nottingham have the last playoff spot, 12 points from 15. Leeds also have 12 from 15, but just edged on the head-to-head by Nottingham. And then Sheffield keeping up their perfect record, 17 out of 17 for them. Just in the Cup, the only point of note is that Blackburn have secured top spot in Group B, which is Billingham's group. So they'll be the top seed from that group. They're the only one to have booked a semi-final spot so far. Widnes and Sheffield are already eliminated in Group A, and Nottingham and Leeds already eliminated in Group B. So the second spot in Billingham's group will be between Telford and Billingham, and they play each other in the next few weeks ahead of Christmas. Anything from the weekend's results? Carol, do you want to kick us off? Anything from the weekend's scores catching your eye?
A begrudging thank you to Blackburn for taking cup points off Telford, I suppose. But great weekends for both Solihull and Hull. 6 points and 5 points for Hull. 6 points for Solihull. Solihull showing that they are genuinely going to be in the race for the title, for sure. And it's not getting any better for poor old Sheffield. I think getting beat by that many on your own ice, 13-4, it's really demoralising when you're in the run that you're in. It is very demoralising. However, what I will say is they were in that game in Telford on Sunday for quite some time. So I think, demoralising as it looks on paper, that team ain't giving up yet. So, pushing Telford all the way on their home ice is no mean feat. So keep going, Sheffield. I think it will come, but I don't think it's going to come soon enough to get you anywhere near the playoffs, unfortunately.
Yeah, a couple of the Sunday games were a lot closer than they ended up on paper. And the Nottingham Blackburn game was a bit a seesaw as well before the Hawks finally pulled away. But yeah, Sheffield were in that for quite a while, and before Telford took the big win 6-3. Jono, anything from you on the scores?
No, I think everything's probably gone as expected. Barring obviously our own results, where you'd expect us to beat Hull, you just would. It just didn't happen for us, losing at home in overtime, and we had a chance to put a dent in Solihull's form on the Sunday, and again, for whatever reason, that last 10 minutes of that third period turned into a disaster. So no, I think everything else went as you'd expect. Like I say, one or two results probably a little bit closer than you would have thought at first. But I think on the whole, you can see the league is a lot tighter than it's ever been.
Yeah, No, and it's even going down to the playoff spots, as going down the table. I think it's going to be right. Say a battle all the way through for qualification for the top 8, which is only good for the future of the division. Well, thanks for that. We'll again nihlstats.wordpress.com for all your results, tables, stats, and things from all of the NIHL divisions. Obviously, we're focused on our division, but Joe Scott's doing a sterling job with the facts and figures from across the NIHL. Just the one game coming up for your Billingham Stars this weekend. It is on Sunday. It is league and cup points up for grabs. The only downside to the fact is that it is away to the Blackburn Hawks. Obviously, we had the game against Blackburn end of October, I think. Memory's starting to go. But it was an October game. It was another seesaw one, another late goal, taking it for the Hawks. What do we expect going down to the deepest, darkest northwest? Who wants to kick us off? Carol, your favourite away trip?
Oh, don't you just love Blackburn? Doesn't everybody just love Blackburn?
I've been once, that was enough.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. There's no two ways about it. It's a big pad. Stars, when they visit Blackburn, either seem to do very, very well or very, very badly. It's a stacked roster. I think the only thing we can look at the minute is Blackburn seem to be coughing up a lot more goals than I'd expected them to. Conceding 5 against Nottingham, and then they conceded 6 against Sheffield the other week. Not great at the back. They have just signed Sami Zajac, though. Obviously, he's not played for a couple of seasons. I'm sure he won't mind me saying he's at the top end of the age bracket for hockey players as well. But make no mistake about it, he's a quality D-man. And we'll just have to see if he's even playing on Sunday. But the fact that I think Blackburn will be slightly concerned with how they've been giving away the goals recently. If we can take advantage of that, we will need an awful lot more puck luck than we've been getting lately. But make no mistake about it, this is probably one of the toughest trips that we'll make this season. We will have to be absolutely on our A game to get anything out of this. We'll just have to see. Hopefully it'll go the way it did the last time we went to Blackburn, which was in the cup last season. But I don't know. It's if you go by the form and what's been happening recently, then it looks on paper like a Blackburn win. But I never count us out of anything. We've got grit in this team. We've got heart. We've got courage. And when we find that luck, we've got scoring as well. We just need to refine it. So let's see.
John, as Carol says, a newer face. Obviously, they recently signed Jack Brammer as well. Sami Zajac's been signed. Lost Gary Simpson. Lost Liam Hine as well to the Elite League. So a few changes around Blackburn, but as we said a few times, they've signed this roster this year with one aim in mind, and that is world domination, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. The coaches or the directors have come out and said it on their own podcast themselves that it's a must-win year for them, and that's what they need to do. They've signed a quality defenseman in Sam Zajac. Yep, he's had 2.5 years off the ice. He's better than anything that they've got already. So they've upgraded massively. I know young Liam High gone off to Leeds Knights. He's better than him. And I know they've lost Gary Simpson, but from a scoring point of view, they haven't lost much, if anything, in the scoring department. The top 6 is stacked anyway. But defensively, they've improved incredibly with Sam Zajac, even with, like, say, the age and the time away. I doubt it'll take him long to get up to speed. I think he was a bit of a fitness guy anyway, so he'll have probably kept himself in decent shape. And he probably will be ready and raring to go against us this Sunday. Our point of view, I mean, there's no better game to get the fire in your belly. We need to start changing and turning things around. You could argue that the league might have gone now. We've lost, 6 games now. So we do need the top 2 to start losing games. We've lost 3 to Solihull already this year. So maybe the cup is one of our big chances now, and there's big cup points on the line, and we can beat Blackburn. We probably progress. I'm probably going to get Solihull home and away in the cup semi-final, but over 2 legs, we can certainly beat them if we turn up. But as for this Sunday, no, it's a huge game. It's a game that can get the fire in the bellies and get our season going. And it's probably one that they might think that we're a bit of a banana skin. They might not want to have us coming so soon, especially when they've lost a couple of games recently. Because if they lose again and they lose ground on Solihull could be away back by the time Christmas comes along.
Yeah, because I think they were surprised that the home game at Billingham, how close we were to them. I think they were expecting it to have it a bit easier in the game on Teesside. So obviously they'll be fired up. It's our only game of the weekend, so we'll be ready to go. Obviously training this week. From what Fuzzy was saying, after the weekend we've just had, the guys will know what their aims and objectives are for the game. Just one game to focus on, and what better to put things right than against the old enemy, you could say, the big rival of the last few years. As Carol says, we've always getting up for the big games in the last couple of years, and this is another. It's a cup qualifier. You could say it's a cup eliminator. Lose the cup points, and then you could be kissing the semi-final berth away. So the cup points are massive. We'll see what transpires. Always a say it's a daunting trip, but it's always a well supported trip. I know it's a regular M62 house in the middle of the motorway kind of trip. One that fans enjoy. So hopefully a good travelling support. It is a Sunday night, but you know what the Stars fans, the travelling fans of late, are really, really keen and mad to support the guys on the road. So, oh, excuse me. We'll see what turns up. Anything else on the game itself before we move away?
No.
So that's just the one game for the Billingham Stars, Blackburn Hawks, Sunday at 6 o'clock at the Blackburn Ice Arena. As the usual rules apply. If you are travelling, shout loud, shout proud, and support your Big Red Machine in the arena. So that's Sunday night. It's the one game for your Stars. If you are travelling, do enjoy, shout loud and proud. Any other business? There was one thing we could have mentioned during the Solihull game, but we'll give it a shout here. A couple of weeks ago, we had Matty Pickup brought into the Stars, and on Sunday we had the latest graduate from the Stars juniors through the books, and we had Will Thornton with us on Sunday. Unfortunately, the way the game wasn't able to get on and show us what he could do. But Saturday night, he got man of the match for the books against Sutton. And it's an exciting one to have a Thornton back on the blue line, Carol.
Yeah, there's some really exciting prospects coming up through the juniors and being showcased through the books at the minute. But both Matty and Will, I'm really excited to see how they develop. Will is already showing signs of the same sort of cool, calm, and collected way that he patrols the blue line, just like his dad. So it is fabulous to see a Thornton back on the patrolling the blue line for the Stars. It's hopefully he'll get some ice soon. I know it's tricky when you're up against the really big teams, but Sunday will have given him a good taste of what it's like to be around the dressing room and what it's like to just be around on match day with the Stars and giving him a taste for it, and hopefully we see a lot more of him and we see him on the ice soon.
Yeah, no, 100%. So we've been waiting for this to come along for a while when we knew he was eligible to play this season. So a Thornton on the blue line, and Jono, it's we talk about the recruitment and stuff of the teams in the league, but over the time since Billingham, certainly since they came back from when the forum opened, this is what Billingham do. They bring the players forward, they give the development the chance, and hopefully these are Matty Pickup and Will Thornton are just the latest on the production line and onwards and upwards towards senior hockey.
Oh, absolutely. I think these two, the fans are really excited to see. I am so excited to see Will Thornton play at North 1 level after seeing him for a couple of weeks at the Bucks. The kid's got talent, and he absolutely oozes it as well. I don't know how long we're going to have him. I really don't, because if he's 50% as good as his dad was, he'll be the best player in this division by the end of the season, if not next season. If he's as good as his dad, we won't see him after the season, because his dad was one of the best D-men the country's produced, and I don't think people realise just how good Richie was as a defenseman in this country. But Will's got all those attributes there. You can see them. Yeah, obviously he's still got a lot to learn to do. I believe he's still 15. I think his birthday is incoming within the next 5-6 days. But the kid is so talented, and same with Matty. We saw a little glimpses of what he could do Saturday. There was a moment where he hit the blue line. He made a fool out of the defenseman. He was bearing down on Zach, and the only way the defenseman could deal with him was by bringing him down. Took the penalty, and I think we scored a power play goal from that penalty. Yeah. But no, you saw just a little glimpse of what he can do as well in a senior game. He looks like he wants it. He looks hungry for it. And I can't wait to see Will out there as well, because he's such a composed player for such a young age. And if people think they're going to rough and bully him, they'll have another thing coming, because I can guarantee he's probably already one step ahead of you.
Yeah. No, it is exciting, and say the club ethos, despite that's
just two, by the way. That's just two players, by the way. There's another 4 or 5 at the Bucks ready and waiting. They're just going to be learning their game over the next 12 to 18 months. So some of those Stars players need to look over the shoulder, because there's a bunch of kids coming through, and they want to play the hockey at the highest level that they can.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're, particularly since we came back from COVID as well. That's what the ethos of the Stars is. They'll bring the players through. They'll give them the chance at senior level, and they'll let them thrive. And that's what we've done. With players have gone onwards and upwards to the National League and onwards. So exciting to see them. I say Matty Pickup already had a few flashes. Hopefully we'll get to see him in the next few weeks. Talking of Billingham junior graduates, a certain Mr. R. Dowd Esquire, now plying his trade in Sheffield, reached a massive milestone, 800 Elite League points in all competitions for Splat. So huge congratulations to Robert Dowd. Obviously, we always support our golden child. No, how dare I? How dare I? We support our one and only the Billingham graduates onwards throughout the UK hockey scene. So great to see that. And obviously a GB year as well. So he's got business towards the end of the season in red, white, and blue, as well as that other colour that he wears for his club. Coming up, next home game, which is in 2 weeks or just under 2 weeks time. Yes, it's the Sheffield Similar's. Yes, it's a home game. But on top of that, it is one of the biggest occasions on the Billingham calendar, Carol, and it's a one we always enjoy on the night and the afterwards as well. 30th of November, it is our teddy bear toss.
Yeah, my favourite game of the year, regardless of the team, regardless of the result. It's my favourite game of the year, because I've been privileged enough to be able to see what happens to those bears that people so generously donate, and it's heartwarming and humbling at the same time. I would encourage everybody to join in with the teddy toss. It just gives people a chance to make a child smile at Christmas when they're in the worst place in the world. Nobody wants to be in hospital over Christmas. It sucks, let's face it. And if you're a child in hospital at Christmas, that's even worse, because you miss out on so much. You miss out on a lot of the magic of Christmas, but this just gives us the opportunity to go into the local hospitals and just try and put a little smile on some of those kids' faces. So believe you me, those bears, every single one of them makes a difference. So please do, if you can, bring a new. I must point out, it must be a new toy, new teddy. Please do bring those bears to toss on Sunday the 30th, because it's just the opportunity really to give something and just to make local kids feel a little bit happier at Christmas.
Yeah, we'll put the full rules and regs that we normally do. We'll put that out on social in the build up, but just give people the chance if they want to go shopping, if they're getting out and about, getting some prezzies, just get an extra little toy in their basket. Sunday the 30th. So we're doing a little bit different at Billingham because of the netting. So we don't do it when the goal scored. We'll do it at the end of the first period. We'll tape out the nettings. We'll give you the chance to air the bear. I'll fire up Rochford's cuddly toy. And then all's right with the world. We'll collect the bears. And as Carol says, in a couple of weeks leading up to Christmas, and the players will head off into the local hospitals. And it's always a fantastic thing to see. Genuine kind of lump to the throat stuff when you see the kids who are in there and what they're having to go through. So if we can make it just a little bit better with just a cuddly toy or something like that, a little gift at Christmas is brilliant. So look out for more on the teddy bear toss coming on Stars social media. And also in the build up to Christmas, Mr. Supporters Club Chairman, obviously no home game this week, but still telling people the Christmas raffle, which is going great guns, amazing prizes, and encourage them to get their tickets. They can contact you or they can see you at the next home game.
Yeah, next home game. But if you want your tickets before then, please get in touch on the social medias. We will sort your raffle tickets out. But yeah, please do get involved. Not only is the Teddy Toss a great cause for the kids, I mean, the Christmas raffle is just important to the hockey club as well. It helps the lads just go through their weekly basic game stuff with all the essential needs and just makes their lives a little bit more comfortable on game days. So yeah, please do get your raffle tickets. There's a few going. If you want to sell some as well, please do get in touch. We can hand you a few out to sell at your workplaces and things like that. The first prize is £300 prize this year, so we thought we'd up the ante a bit in regards to that. But yeah, please do get in touch in regard to your raffle tickets as well. I think as well, if you want your sockies, the red, white, and black, I believe they are. If you want them for Christmas, you need to get those orders in quite soon. But there will be social media posts going out soon for Christmas orders, because I believe we have an exciting new hoodie out available as well, which was on sale for the first time last Sunday. It does have a different name because it's not a hoodie. It doesn't have a hood, but it's a hoodie. But yeah, Christmas orders will be putting a post out soon.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Always busy, seeing the table busy as well on a game night. And as John says, the supporters club, by literal definition, the funds are used to support the club in any way we possibly can. So anything to help the players, help the team, anything to make things a little bit better. So your raffle tickets and all the stuff that goes on a game night. So teddy bear toss coming very soon as well. Look out for social media posts on that. With that, we shall leave it as things are. Just a reminder, one game for the Billingham Stars away to Blackburn on Sunday, 6 o'clock at Blackburn Ice Arena if you are travelling. Next home game is Sunday the 30th. So mark that in there. We'll see you back at home very, very soon. But for now, thank you to Carol and to Jono, powering through and getting to the end eventually. I'm off to buy a new laptop and find some more internet, and but we'll leave it for now. Thanks for tuning in. give us a like, a rating, and a review wherever you get your podcast. If you watch us on Facebook or on YouTube, or if you just listen to us on any of the podcast platforms, it is greatly appreciated. And we'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching. This has been STARCAST.
Thank you for watching and listening to STARCAST. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.